Let's see what's up.
Ooh.
Damn. We're at 157 right here.
Right around where we IPO'd at, or were they IPO'd at, man?
Let's just say we get in 20% from the IPO, right? That would be a 125 price target.
This ain't your average company. Yeah.
You know, that would be a 125 price target. And then because it's an IPO, let's say we even get to 100. Because it's an IPO, it's one of them. It's not a smaller cap company, but it's a newer company on the market. Let's say we do $100. That's a 35% decrease from where we're at. I'm at the point really where when this lockup period is over, right? Because we got the shares being released as they go for these private investors. And after a year or 6 months after that lockup period, I'm trying to see where that price is at. And that will make me more comfortable buying the stock, because then I know that, hey, you'll get manipulation from the stock market anyway. But with these private investors, their shares will be unlocked, the profits will be taken, things will settle down, and it'll just be a stock on the stock market instead of goddamn SpaceX, you know? And when it's at that point, I feel more comfortable buying. Really, no, I wouldn't say regardless of where the price is at, but back 6 months to 6 months to a year, that's when I'll look back at this and really consider adding to my position. But no matter what, like Flash said, you know, this is a great prominent company. I'm gonna add this to my position.
Yeah, generational wealth right here, man. SpaceX is doing something that no company has ever done before. So personally, we all know what's going on at SpaceX headquarters, right? They do have a lot of private investors that are definitely looking to sell after this lockup period. But I think the way that they're gonna play it is that, like, a lot of the employees that probably hold a good amount of the shares, let's say like 10% or whatever, I don't know, but I don't think that. I think that a lot of the selling is going to come from those private investors instead of the employees, because, you know, the employees, they've been there since like 2002, right? So whenever their packages, whatever their packages are looking like, I don't think that it'll be. I don't know if we'll get down to 35%, but I definitely see $125 SpaceX. I think that is very possible. That was only 20%.
Yeah.
I think that I think $100 SpaceX would be. If we were to ever get there, it would not be for weeks, maybe even 1 week, or, you know what I'm saying? It would be within a session. We go down and touch that real quick on some extreme, because $100 they wouldn't. That's too much of a money grab. That's too easy for retail to get in. It's $100, right? I don't think that too many people would, and we have to pay the premium, right? So yeah, $100 SpaceX. It really does sound good.
I think it's plausible, honestly. I think it's possible, because you got, you know, so thinking about how big the market caps of Nvidia and Netflix already are, they ended up having a split and causing their stocks to be less than $100 at some point. So it'll be, like you said, I don't think it'll be there for long, for sure. But given the market cap of what SpaceX already released at, in the high trillions, a lot of profit will be taken. And with this being a company that's newer, I forgot what I was gonna look up, but nah, I think yeah, I think it's unlikely, but there could be a chance that we reach that given the market cap. I wanted to look up IPOs. Yeah. All right, damn. I was trying to find the Magnificent Seven returns from when they released to now, emphasizing, you know, what Flash was saying about generational wealth being made on SpaceX. You know, when it comes down to the stock market in general, holding is what gives you the best results, but especially when it comes down to the IPOs, you want to hold for generations. Thinking back to Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, I mean, you can read it off for us, brother. The percentage and the return since they IPO'd.
Yeah, Apple returned over 140,000 since its public debut in 1980. Microsoft 350,000 since their IPO in '86. Amazon 230,000 in '97. Nvidia 120,000 in 1999. Google/Alphabet 7,000 since 2004. Meta 1,300 since 2012, and Tesla 20,000 since 2010. These are insane returns, as well as Tesla already being up 20,000% in 16 years, right? Tesla kind of had the same type of, well, it's the same person, right? So Elon had the same type of launch when it came to the way that he did his companies. It was all around the hype, you know what I'm saying? It was all based on the hype, and he was kind of selling a dream that sounded so good that it drove Tesla all the way up to damn near $500, you know what I'm saying? So I think that these type of numbers is crazy. Hold on, actually. Let me read this up top. The Magnificent Seven have generated extraordinary multi-decade returns since the respective IPOs, surging from small cap market debuts to multi-trillion-dollar behemoths. However, facing increased AI spending scrutiny, they shed $2.3 trillion in June as capital rotates into massive IPOs like SpaceX. Damn. So this collection of companies lost $2.3 trillion to get into SpaceX. That's what it says. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I know they shed 2.3 trillion. I mean, I don't know if it's saying they used that specific 2.3 trillion to put into SpaceX, but I know a lot of money was sold during these times to.
Yeah, it said
so to get into some companies, so emphasizing SpaceX, getting it at whatever you get it at, hold it for generations and generations, because those are the type of returns that you get on quality companies that you hold for generations, you know.
No cap. Man, what the most was it 300,000? 350,000
from Microsoft.
That is crazy, man. Right. And you know what the Gates founded, come on now. Oh my gosh. It really goes to show where we are in the market, man. Anything under IPO, SpaceX, man, is extraordinary because of where this is gonna go in the future, man. Valuated at $1 trillion. I think their market cap is somewhere up there too. Official Go Getter has searched up America's GDP and what Mag 7 adds to it. It says, as the summer of 2026, the United States nominal gross domestic product is pacing at an annualized rate of 32.4 trillion, while the Magnificent Seven companies generated combined revenue that directly equates to about 8% of it. Understanding how the Mag 7 interact with the U.S. economy requires separating a company's market value from its direct contribution to economic output. Man, so the Mag 7 is doing so many wonders for our economy that, like, it's getting to the point where our overall well-being as a society is growing because of these companies. As we can see, right? I don't want to tie specifically to the things that we need, like gas, groceries, and things like that. But those are very small factors, but it all plays a part into the way that our economy looks, moves, and like keeps itself up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody uses all the Mag 7 in some way, shape, or form. You use at least one of them. So that is crazy. That's extremely important. You
Yeah,
use
man.
at least one of them.
You use one of them, and that's why we emphasize buying the Magnificent Seven. And for the people who don't know, you got in the Magnificent Seven is that Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Google, Nvidia, Microsoft. I'm missing one. Microsoft, Meta. I don't know if I said Meta, maybe not, but maybe I'm missing one. But in the GDP is, as it says here, the total value of all goods and services produced in the U.S. Right, and it sits at a total of 32.8 trillion. And then you have, you got the Magnificent Seven, all the companies we just mentioned contributing to 8.1% of that 32.8 trillion.
Hey Siri, what is 8% of 32 trillion?
8% times 3.2 times 10 to the 13th power is 2.56 times 10 to the 12th power.
Okay. Thank you, Siri.
Man.
So I think that's what, 200 billion? 8% of I think that's what that is. I think that's what she said.
Yeah.
That's crazy. As well as our debt being somewhere around this number too. I think we're in debt like 36 trillion. That's insane. Yeah, please.
But these are the companies you want to emphasize, man. You want to emphasize
What the fuck is that? Nah, thank you, Siri. Siri's so ass. Apple, get Siri up. Go ahead, my fault.
I don't even know what number this is. You guys ain't telling me the number this is.
No
Drop it in the comments if you know what number this is, man.
I think that's because that's not billion. It would have said billion. Maybe it's trillion. Maybe it's 2.5 trillion. 8%.
You want to emphasize the companies that add to the makeup of our economy, adding money into our economy.
Cool. Yeah, 2.5 trillion. Fuck. 2.5 trillion, man. They contribute, and yeah, they contribute 2.5 to our overall 32.3. I think that is insane. Let one of these companies fail, right? Who's the I guess the smaller out of the bunch, right? Let's who's the smaller out of the bunch?
Out of that bunch, who is that smaller out of the bunch?
Would that be Apple?
Hell nah. I would say okay, as far as the least market cap is Tesla.
But price too though.
You talking about smallest is in price? Like what cost the least and on the stock market? Or smallest market cap company, smallest growth to the GDP?
Low key, Tesla. I forgot what I was gonna say though. One of those smaller companies, not smaller, one of these companies fail. The other 6 is picking it up, you know what I'm saying, and dragging away. Insane. It's crazy that seven companies control so much of our economy that it's hard to not even imagine not knowing that, and just subconsciously you're just using these apps and not even knowing, or even taking the time to look into these companies, because they control so much of what you use every day.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You talking about just going day to day and not even taking the time to realize who's behind this, what's going on, and what's their reasoning. These companies, that's why the stock market is such a beautiful place, because they're trying to control us, and we can control ourselves and benefit off the fact that they're trying to control us by controlling our own selves and putting our money into the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Putting our money into other places where we can get on the other side. That's what Flash was saying. Our country, our world is controlled by these 7 companies, right? Without these 7 companies, our world looks drastically different. Without Amazon, without Apple, without Microsoft, none of this would be happening right now.
Right.
Honestly. And oligarchy was a word that I learned a long time ago, talking about what we're talking about. Oligarchy, defined as a form of government or power structure where a small group of people holds all the political and economic control. And that's the world that we live in. You know, America is an oligarchy, right? In the modern context, while rarely used as an official name for government today, political scientists often use oligarchy to describe countries where a small group of billionaires, politicians, or military generals hold absolute influence behind the scenes, regardless of whether the country claims to be a democracy.
And that's where we live, Dwayne.